All right, so something that I pride myself on is admitting when I'm wrong. And I was completely wrong about the New Orleans Saints. If you go back a few weeks ago and watch my NFL record by team prediction, by division predictions, I had the Saints going 7 and 10 this year. They're going to win more games than that. I was wrong. I will already admit that. This Saints offense, it's damn good. It's explosive. 91 points through 2 games for the Saints. That's unprecedented. Against the Cowboys, Alvin Kamara had 4 touchdowns, which for a running back is astounding. Derek Carr had 2 touchdown passes for more than 55 yards. And the Saints had scored 5 touchdowns at the end of the first half. Absolutely mind-blowing. That is dominant peak offensive performance. And you can tell when a unit just feels different. And that's why I don't feel like I'm overreacting here. It's easy to watch a team through the first 2 games of the season and be like, wow, they look amazing. Wow, they look dazzling. But you can tell when an entire unit just looks different and it catches everybody off guard. The Saints-Cowboys game reminded me, I'm going to give you all a little blast from the past here. It reminded me of the Louisville-Florida State game back in 2016. Florida State was ranked number 2 in the nation, and Louisville just ran up one side of them and down the other. They put more than 60 points on the Noles, and the Noles were just coming off that Jameis Winston era where they had about a season and a half of being undefeated. And Louisville, who nobody recognized at the time as a playoff contender, just completely destroyed Florida State. And that's exactly what the Saints did to the Cowboys this weekend. Went into AT&T Stadium and just put on an offensive masterclass. And the Cowboys, like Florida State, they're a team that are expected to make the playoffs this year, potentially win the NFC East. People have high expectations for the Cowboys. But the Saints just completely carved them up on the offensive side of the ball. And it's the offense that's turning heads for the Saints early this season. And you can tell that there's clearly something different. There's been a shift. It's one thing to overreact to a trend. There has been a shift in this unit, kind of like there was a shift in USC's defense. It's clearly better. So, as I did in the Notre Dame video last week, I want to go below the surface and assess what is different about the Saints offense. Well, back in February, the Saints hired a new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, and he's been special these first 2 weeks, coach up the Saints offense. And here's why. From a schematic standpoint, it's been the incorporation of play action. The Saints have absolutely killed it on play action these first 2 games. The use of the Saints running back duo, Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams, and dominating on first and second down. The Saints' offensive style, as far as pace goes, it kind of reminds me of Alabama basketball's offense. Like they hit you fast and they hit you hard, and they take the wind out of your sails. And before you know it, you look up and they have 21 points on you in the second quarter. It's like, what do we do about this? It's like guerrilla warfare. What's crazy, even though they had the ball for a lot against the Panthers, the Saints only had the ball for 1 minute more than the Cowboys in their matchup. And they still put up north of 40 points. That's nuts. Clint Kubiak is doing what most great offensive coordinators do well. He's making the most out of the ingredients that he has. I always compare coordinators on both sides of the ball to chefs. You have your apparatus of ingredients, and it's up to you to use the ingredients that you have to make a damn good meal and get the most out of every ingredient so that it complements every element of the meal. Clint Kubiak has done that remarkably well. Everybody in the Saints offense knows their role. He knows how to put each Saints player in the right position, the best position to succeed and maximize their potential, maximize their value on the field. Everybody is pulling in the same direction. There's cohesion, and there's a lot of guys with high potential on that offense. Derek Carr. Derek Carr is great with the deep ball. Alvin Kamara is still a dominant running back. I know he kind of faded out of that running back conversation, but Alvin Kamara is still dominant as ever. The guy is an absolute dog. Chris Olave, fantastic receiver. You saw at Ohio State's. You see the glimmers of potential in the NFL. Chris Olave is a truly great wide receiver. Rashid Shaheed, the work ethic of that guy and his explosiveness, fantastic. Jamal Williams, ferocious running back. And then Taysom Hill, the Swiss Army knife himself, knowing how to incorporate him into some packages. Clint Kubiak has been great at that as well. Number 2, simply, it's not rocket science. I think that a lot of people go goo goo gaga over glamorous offenses, sexiness on the offensive side of the ball, razzle-dazzle plays, the long ball, spin moves, toe-tapping catches. And while they're great and it's fantastic for social media and it makes you jump off your couch and say, damn, what just happened? At the end of the day, offense is all about efficiency. When you have the ball, you score. You do something with it. The Saints have mastered the art of that. In their first 6 quarters of the season, the Saints never punted the ball. And most of the time, when they get into the red zone, they're going to score. They're going to give you 6. Complete possessions. It's about complete possessions. It doesn't have to be sexy. You don't have to have a long home run ball. You don't have to pull off spin moves and jukes. It's simply about finishing, starting the drive and finishing the drive, getting 7 preferably, if not 3, but getting something out of the drive. The Saints have doubled down on that. It's simple. It's simplifying the offense, just getting from point A to point B. The Saints have been fantastic at that. Another thing that I want to point out is that a lot of people look at the final score of that Saints-Cowboys game and see that the Saints racked up 44 points against the Cowboys. And they'd automatically assume that, oh yeah, Derek Carr must have thrown more than 30 passes in that game. No. Derek Carr went 11 for 16 against the Cowboys. Oh, well, he must have thrown for north of 330 passing yards. No. He only had 243 passing yards against the Cowboys. You see, it's about efficiency. It's about when the offense has the ball, getting into the red zone, and then when you get into the red zone, capitalizing on the opportunities that you're given. The Saints have been masterful with that the past 2 weeks. You can throw for 360 passing yards in a game and throw the ball north of 40 times. But if you're not doing the little things well and you're turning the ball over, you still may lose. And that is incredibly frustrating for an offense. And that's another thing that I want to point out about the efficiency of the Saints offense is that they don't turn the ball over often at all. The Saints have really minimized turnovers, and it shows because when you have fumbles, interceptions at certain points in the game, it can really shift momentum of that game. And a game that you once had won, a victory that you once had secured, can slip out of your fingertips and be claimed by the opponent if you make silly mental errors and turn the ball over when you shouldn't. The Saints have really avoided that. They've minimized turnovers, and that's been a testament to their efficiency. I don't want to make any assumptions early in the season. I don't want to speculate on where the Saints are going to go this season, how they're going to perform, what their record's going to be. But I do want to acknowledge that this has been an incredible start. The offense is noticeably better. Clint Kubiak has done an amazing job so far, so I tip my cap to him. And I want to point out that the Cowboys were on a 16-game home regular season winning streak until the Saints beat them this Sunday. So it's monumental what the Saints did. The Cowboys do not lose at AT&T Stadium. They barely lose in that venue. So the fact that the Saints not only won, but they dominated the Cowboys, that should turn the heads of everybody who watches the NFL. So I don't want to overreact, but I want to appreciate what the Saints have done so far. And I'm excited to see if the Saints offense can remain consistent and sustain this level of explosiveness that they've shown these past 2 weeks for the remainder of this season. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you and the time that you took out of your day to watch the video. And if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video and share it, as well as subscribe to The Era. The more likes and subscribers I get on this channel, the more resources I can attain, and the more resources I can attain, the more value I can provide to you, the viewer. And that is how I show my appreciation for you for the time that you devote to watching my videos. So thank you so much, and have a great day.